Teaching for gain in today's world. A scriptural warning. In our day, the sacred calling of teaching the word has been turned into a marketplace, and the cries of the poor, broken, and seekers often go unheard as the church chases subscriptions, platforms, and profit. Today, to access many ministries, one must pay a subscription to a podcast or streaming service, registration for online teaching, a contribution to attend a special event, or membership in an exclusive group. Access to fellowship, teaching, and spiritual guidance often comes with a price tag, a far cry from the word freely given to the world. Even the most desperate seeker can find themselves blocked behind digital paywalls or social media groups designed to filter the faithful by their ability to pay. Ministries often prioritize book sales, merchandise, memberships, and subscriptions, constantly supplying the insatiable thirst for more money, instead of satisfying the spiritual thirst of the hungry. In many cases, the focus is no longer on feeding the poor or discipling the weak, but on ambitious growth, marketing, and fundraising campaigns, all under the guise of ministry. This modern trend echoes the warnings of Scripture. Matthew 10:7-8 reminds us, "Proclaim as you go, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give." Yeshua never said, "Give only if they pay, subscribe, or join your platform." Yet today, access to the truth, to discipleship, and even to fellowship often comes at a cost. In Acts 8:18 am Ph 20:3, Simon the sorcerer tried to buy spiritual authority, and Peter rebuked him sharply. "May your silver perish with you, because you thought you could obtain the gift of God with money. You have neither part nor lot in this matter, for your heart is not right before God." Similarly, every subscription, ticketed event, and paid access that turns ministry into a business mirrors Simon's heart, valuing money over obedience and the souls of men. Even the Old Testament speaks against leaders and teachers who turned Yah's word into a profit center. Malachi 2:7-8 condemns priests who failed to instruct faithfully. "For the lips of a priest should preserve knowledge, but you have turned from the way and caused many to stumble. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi," says Yah of hosts. Today, ministries that push constant fundraising, gate spiritual content behind payments, and prioritize material gain over mercy echo the corruption of those priests. Balaam, who loved the wages of wickedness, 2 Peter 2:15 am, Jude 1:11 am, serves as the archetype for every teacher or ministry that prioritizes wealth over truth. Just as Balaam sought profit through his gift, modern ministries chase book sales, paid memberships, merchandise, and platform growth, feeding ambition rather than the kingdom. And as Scripture warns, destruction waits for those who exploit the word for gain. 2 Peter 2:1-3. It is also vital to remember that those who are new in faith or inexperienced cannot rightly teach others. 1 Timothy 3:6 warns that a recent convert may become conceited and fall into judgment. Yet many who are barely months into the study of Torah or the gospel attempt to lead others, often through paid platforms or online ministries, compounding the danger. Their hearts may be well-intentioned, but ignorance and ambition combined with a marketplace-driven ministry can mislead souls and draw God's judgment. In this age, the same warning from Matthew 7:21 am Ph 23 resounds, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father. Many will say to me on that day, 'Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, cast out demons in your name, and perform many miracles in your name?' And I will declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.'" Ministries built on ambition, marketing, and monetization, rather than obedience, mercy, and freely giving, risk this very condemnation. Yahovah's word is freely given, and teaching it must be done with humility, integrity, and fear of God. To place a price on access to truth, to restrict discipleship behind digital platforms, or to monetize spiritual insight is to echo the greed of Balaam, the corruption of the priests, and the pride of the Pharisees. If you are a teacher, whether new or seasoned, remember, study before you speak, serve before you sell, and give before you gain. Teach freely, feed the poor, care for the broken, and let the truth of Jehovah's flow through your life without price, without pretense, and without ambition for worldly gain. Teaching and ministry for gain. From the big city to small towns, the corruption of ministry is not limited to large, known churches or megachurches. It stretches into every corner of Christendom, from sprawling city campuses to small-town congregations. From the largest televised ministries to the quietest local churches, the pattern is often the same: a focus on money, buildings, and programs. While the people, the very souls God entrusted to them, are left to struggle, many ministries, regardless of size, pour their energy into building funds, outreach campaigns, and ambitious projects, touting capital campaigns and expansion goals as signs of God's blessing, while those within the congregation remain spiritually, emotionally, or even materially neglected. Offerings and tithes are funneled toward the vision, rather than toward feeding the poor, caring for widows, assisting the struggling, and ministering to those most in need, echoing the warnings God gave the priests of Israel. Malachi 3:8-9 condemns leaders who fail in stewardship of God's covenant. Will man rob God? Yet you are robbing me. But you say, how have we robbed you? In tithes and offerings. You are cursed with a curse. For you are robbing me, the whole nation of you. In modern terms, many ministries appear to rob God, not through outright theft but by misaligned priorities. Funds are collected to expand buildings, pay staff salaries, host events, or market the church, while members facing real hardships receive little care. The hungry, the grieving, the sick, and the broken are too often ignored, while the ministry invests in marketing campaigns, conferences, podcasts, and social media growth. Even small, town churches are not immune. They often promote ambitious outreach projects or start building funds, sometimes encouraging generous donations from members who themselves struggle to pay bills, all in the name of vision or kingdom growth. The people, families, widows, and individuals who make up the church body are neglected, left spiritually and materially unsupported. James 1:20-7 reminds us, religion that is pure and undefiled before God, the Father, is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unstained from the world. When the priority is funds over people, the ministry mirrors the priests Malachi condemned, the Pharisees Yeshua condemned, and Balaam's greed. The word becomes a tool, the offerings a source of influence, and teaching or guidance a product to promote rather than a life-giving gift to nurture. Matthew 11:20, 3 p.m. Fe 20. Forewarns, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe mint and dill and cumin, and have neglected the weightier matters of the law, justice, and mercy and faithfulness. These you ought to have done, without neglecting the others. Modern ministries, both large and small, can fall into this trap. The small details, building campaigns, budgets, events are obsessively pursued while the weightier matters of mercy, care, and discipleship are neglected. Church leaders, young teachers, and volunteers alike are tempted to measure success by money raised or followers gained, not by souls healed, lives restored, and hearts fed with truth. Even in digital ministry, the temptation is the same. Podcasts, online sermons, exclusive streaming platforms, and members-only Facebook groups create barriers between the word and the people. Access to teaching, fellowship, or spiritual insight is often dependent on subscriptions, donations, or paid participation, rather than a desire to serve freely as Yeshua commanded in Matthew 10:8. Freely you have received, freely give. Small-town ministries are particularly vulnerable to this mentality. With fewer members and resources, the emphasis often becomes building the fund to attract more people or cover expenses, leaving the individual members unsupported, families struggling financially, widows needing assistance, the spiritually weak, or the emotionally broken may be ignored, while money is funneled to visions, campaigns, or ambitious projects. The focus on funds over care echoes the warnings of Malachi 2:7 feigning, where Yah condemned priests for failing to teach and protect the people, while pursuing their own interests. The consequences are grave. Teachers and leaders who prioritize funds over faithful care risk not only spiritual corruption, but also the judgment spoken of in James 3. 1 Matthew 7:20, 1 Ph 20, 3, and 2 Peter 2, 1 Ph 3. They lead souls astray through neglect or ambition, exploiting both new believers and the faithful, and their work becomes a testimony against them on the day of judgment. Whether large or small, urban or rural, ministries must ask themselves, are we serving God or serving money? Are we feeding the flock or funding the empire? Are we teaching the word freely or marketing it as a commodity? Until the answer is rooted in humility, mercy, and obedience, ministry risks repeating the sins of the priests, Pharisees, and Balaam, and the warning is clear: God will hold teachers and leaders accountable, especially for those who mislead or neglect the vulnerable in their care.